You know, I gotta say something in another video. I made trinkets, messed around with trinkets that I fooled around with. Now, your society knows everything about witchcraft, supposedly, and it's supposed to grant the person their wishes, but my wishes were never come true. You're supposed to say it out loud, and I did, even on the videos I made of the wishes, and they never came true. But that's not what witchcraft is. Witchcraft is supposed to come true according to your society and all the expectations and everything else that you wish for. I wished for on one trinket that a girl's crush would come alive and the Pacific girl would chase after me and try to date me, but it never came true because I don't know why. I moved away and I'm living here where I'm living at now, and I don't see who the girl is. She doesn't live around here, so it's kind of hard to meet as a person, you know, and then you wonder why people dip into that stuff in the first place when all they do is take things away from each other and steal my girl. So it's kind of hard. So I decided to make a wish and fool around with stuff so it'd keep me protected. It kind of seems like I'm doing it unselfish. And now all of a sudden everybody else probably wants to mess with the stuff, but now they don't want to because I'm coming out here in the opening and saying, well, it's not coming true. When is it supposed to come true? You know, if it's the devil's world like everybody says it is, then it's supposed to happen immediately. You're not supposed to sit around and wait. Do the trinkets not work? Because according to the generations, they do. And that's what people warned me about and saying, oh, you shouldn't mess with that stuff because it brings bad karma. But it didn't bring anything. It didn't do anything. It didn't do a lick a bit of difference on one of the things I wished for. I'll be blatant to tell people right up front what I wished for. I don't care. Doesn't faze me one bit. When you see how bad society is, you can't keep yourself protected out here on any basic materialistic things. Prayers and rosaries aren't going to get us out of the bad karma that's in life. Prayers and wishes aren't going to get you the dates that we need and all this other stuff. Having no money is not going to help as well. So how can I practice all this stuff that you want society to be bad and into all that bad stuff if you're not letting us do anything, keeping us disregarded from being good people, bad people, evil people? You don't want anything. I just don't think you know a lick a bit of difference of what you're doing with anything. It doesn't sound like anything we're trying to cause is important. You constantly run around and say how much you don't care, but then you're behind the scenes wanting everybody to care about your life. Kind of doesn't make sense. It's kind of hysterical laughter. The stuff I've been going through is hysterical to everybody else in their position, because be thankful none of you people ever gone through any of that stuff to learn. But there's also traps and all that stuff from what the celebrities are talking about that. But you already knew that stuff, and according to history in the 1800s, all them wars and all that prehistoric stuff, against all that stuff. I stand against all that stuff. So even though I messed with trinkets, you're going to judge me and say, oh, it's witchcraft. But when you come into my house, you got no proof of any of those trinkets there. So they're not there, so there's no proof. There's no evidence. It's kind of hard to do anything bad when you're cut off from all the public and everybody else. You expected me to sit back and say, oh, well, it's kind of hard to spread faith and spread good stuff and good karma when you're cut off from the public. You didn't think that I'd say something like that it's kind of hard to create bad deeds and do anything when you're cut off from society. It's kind of hard to get to know your neighbors when everybody just makes assumptions. Kind of seems hysterical in somebody else's look when they're looking at half my conversations. You know, it's kind of funny that I had to repeat that again a second time compared to the other video. Half the public and the neighbors don't even know I make videos because I'm not giving them the subscriptions, because they're not going to subscribe to it already. They already said they weren't. So they already don't like me as a person, but they never hung out with me. They never done anything to hang out or ask me to go anywhere. Like I wouldn't notice that they have got friends of their own. It's kind of blatantly when you don't even know what trinkets are out there. You don't know the differences between subjects, or they don't teach any of this stuff on school. You're just sitting back coast whipping, expecting me to give all the answers so you know the difference. It's kind of hilarious that I don't come forward, so I'm not snitching neither. Being alone, I'm supposed to be facing all these battles alone. I could be making you lots of money and moving furniture and doing all kinds of stuff and helping mowing lawns and doing all this stuff. But no, you want me alone. You want me broken. But none of it phases me because I grew up and I know what life does to people and all that psychological bull crap. But you don't have the degrees in psychology, so you're kind of being a hypocrite about things. You're kind of disturbing, and I don't have to give out my personal information of where I live, where I work. You sound like a stalker to me personally. Kind of makes me hilariously laugh at things that you sound ridiculous asking all those questions. What do I want to do for a living? What did I wish for with my trinkets? You kind of sound like you don't know anything you're researching and doing up in society. You kind of sound like you're the ones that's behind, hanging on everything people of faith do so you can counter react it. It kind of seems very suspicious. Which one is it, I got 115 wishes out there, but the trinket's already burned, so all the wishes don't matter no more. Kind of hard to put that in my life in reality when you weren't there when I burnt the trinket, so you don't know what I wish for. It's kind of hard for me to deceive things if I don't come forward and wish for what I wish for. You don't know who this specific girl is. When I say her name was Mary, she doesn't live around in this neighborhood, so that pisses everybody off that it couldn't be them, and they don't know who Mary is because the society is doing all this bad stuff and people follow each other and steal each other girls. It's kind of hard to do that when there's thousands of Marys out there, hundreds of Marys, but it's kind of hard for them to find me and do all this stuff that the wishes state they do. And I know and I believe in all that stuff coming true. So it goes by my standards and beliefs, not everybody else's standards and beliefs. See, you're not even doing that stuff correctly. I'm testing you people out there in the public, and you're failing it completely, miserably, to the point you're making yourselves all miserable instead of wanting to do changes. You're not playing your roles out there that you want to play. 90% of the public around here wants to do stuff and be in stories and do great things and want memories with each other. But then when it comes crunch time like it is right now, and where is it? Where is it? Huh? Well, where's the fun at? Where's it all at? Where's all this discovery? Why can't we do all this stuff, huh? You're putting up guidelines and you're saying all kinds of stuff and there's bad stuff and you're saying magic is real, but then when people experiment with it just to see that it's real, suddenly it doesn't work right? What's up with that? That doesn't make any sense. That's not the stuff I wish for. It goes by my wishes, doesn't it? That's how this all the other stuff and how society grew up with it. That's what happened in history by those people doing it individually, making up wishes, and the certain things that they wished for came true to happen that way. And it's not forcing somebody to date me. It's changing the fate of somebody that's not willing to date me. How do you know I haven't already talked to that person and that person was down for me? You don't know anything in society right now. You're going by your own opinions, and I wasn't around for you, and neither was she, so you don't know her feelings. You don't know my feelings. You don't know my scenarios. And you sit back and say you don't care, but you're ruining your chances for you as a society to have your own date lives and pick out the thousands of people that are out there to give yourself chances for by sitting back and saying how much you don't care. You haven't been fighting for things for generations now in the correct manner. And then you call me all these names and saying, well, you shouldn't say all that. Well, then stop doing it and you wouldn't be ruining things. It's a simple, easy deed. I don't need to seek counseling because if I do, then I'll just bring it up to them. And what are they going to say? They're going to be speechless because they're going to say, well, wait a minute, we did studies on all this stuff and it's supposed to happen. This is what reality is. Is something wrong with society? Is something wrong with these situations? Because it doesn't make any sense. If you made wishes off of a trinket, then it's supposed to come true. According to the legends of all the trinkets from the monkey's paw, it kind of, yeah, exactly my point. It doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to grant the wishes, isn't it? That's what it showed on all the newspaper articles. That's what I studied. That's what it said when I bought the trinket. It said that it costs money, and it says that it grants wishes. Well, I wished for that, and I wished for superhero power and all this other stuff. I'm playing the roles while you people are laughing out there and saying all that disrespectful stuff, but then you don't say it when you watch other people's movies. You don't sit there and say that disrespectful stuff when you watch X-Men or Avengers or all the other movies that are out there. You don't say that disrespectful stuff, do you? You just sit back and say all that disgusting stuff to people and all that other stuff. Do you have any idea how stupid and out your mind you sound? You sound worse than I do. At least I'm stable and sticking up for things and fighting for chances out here. What are you people doing? You're just sitting back doing nothing and disregarding things and saying how life is supposed to be, but you're not fighting for anything. You're not doing a little bit of difference in the planet. You're just coast whipping. And these are more videos that I got to pass down to the generation that you get to learn and realize what happened during our situation, at least for me, and the stuff I went through. So it kind of ruins the point of ever wanting to support the business of witchcraft when the wishes don't come true. You kind of lied to society and lied to citizens. So now you have to deal with that since you don't want to make the wishes come true. Because I tried to find life and work it without turning to trinkets and all that stuff. But you didn't allow that now, did you? And supposedly you did studies on magic and you're saying that it can't defeat magic. Well, then why didn't the wishes come true? Either side you look at has to happen. It has to come true in order for it to happen, but it didn't come true. Not my problem then, and that makes you people look bad. Well, not my problem. You should have shut up and just been cool about things in life instead of running your mouth and causing to jump to conclusions and all this other stuff. You shouldn't have done all that stuff. You think I wouldn't hear what goes around and people wouldn't tell me stuff of what people done and said on the sidelines. You didn't think I'd find out all that stuff. Well, that's just too bad. I'm glad that I decided to do these documentations and say all this loud stuff loud enough for people to hear me and not really care what they got to say. So none of the things they're saying and doing phases me or even come close to my personality, the things that people like in each other. And the people that are around here are so disconcluded from each other's lives, but not really, because half of society is hanging out with each other and everybody knows each other and all this other stuff. Everybody else has got friends. They don't run into these problems, certainly. You know, if any of you people went through this stuff, you'd slit your wrists or have a heart attack. But yet I'm compatible to where it doesn't bother me. Suddenly, all of a sudden, everybody wants me to be on their side and be on their team. Well, sorry, I can't. None of it comes true. Sorry. And you say it's the beholder. Well, didn't I just repeat in this video that I said I believe in all this stuff? That I believe it's going to happen? Well, hello? Still waiting. It's been years after. Still waiting.